Fabrice, I need a research topic so that when I finish my research will be applied in the industry. No, it's not about the research topic. It's about having a mindset. I can give you a research topic, but do you have the right mindset? Fabrice, I need a business idea that I'll implement right away and start making money. No. You don't, it's not a business idea, because the business idea that I'm probably using and succeeding, if I give you, you fail because you have the wrong mindset and you take the wrong actions. So it should be Fabrice. What skills, what type of mindset do I need to have so that I will do a research project that will be applied in the industry? Fabrice, what mindset do I need to have so that when I do a business, I'm going to succeed? Okay. Fabrice, what kind of mindset do I need to have so that when I face recruiters in my job search, I'm going to succeed? That's candidate 2. But now, how do you change your mindset, guys? If this thing was easy, everybody would be doing it. Everybody will be doing it. It's not very trivial, but I got you covered. I have a secret here that will blow your mind. Good morning, all, and I am energized and pumped up to join you today for this first episode of the Lean Sciencepreneur series, which is hosted on the InoGrade cloud academic platform. Okay, so episode 1 will be on revealing mindset hacking secrets for turning scientific research to entrepreneurial innovation. Okay, so before I start this presentation, and also bearing in mind that this is actually the first episode, some of you know me, some of you don't yet know me. So that's why I want to start by introducing myself. Okay, in terms of my academic degrees, I hold a PhD in Energy and Process Systems Engineering. That's from the Norwegian University of Science and Technology. That was in 2020. I hold a scientist MBA in business and entrepreneurship, so specifically turning science into business solutions. I hold an MPhil, that's a master's by research in biosystems engineering from the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, an MEng, Masters of Engineering in Industrial Chemistry and Environments from NSAI, University of Yaoundé, Cameroon, and a Bachelor of Science degree in Biochemistry and Biotechnology. In terms of research, my research experience, I have published over 20 original research articles in industry-leading journals, specifically focusing in the area of process modeling, process synthesis, and process development. So some of you here, you are still on the way of achieving either your master's or PhD degree. Some of you will also are underfunded projects that require publications. So some of the tricks and techniques that have worked for me, I'm going to be sharing them with you throughout the Lean Sciencepreneur series. In terms of business and impact, before that, my works have been recognized by many international organizations from the European Union, Norwegian Agency for Research and Development, as well as the Cameroon Presidential Award for Excellence. In terms of business and impact, I am the founder and chief executive of Abunde Sustainable Engineering Group, which is a company that builds processes for small-scale food and bioprocess industries. So the concepts that I developed throughout my research for masters and PhDs, that's what I actually use now to create the company. I'm also the co-founder and managing director of Abunde Foods, which is a food processing company located in Douala, Cameroon. As also a process consultant for small-scale companies, a trainer, a speaker at leading international conferences. Now, we'll have 2 characters for episode 1. We have candidate 1, which is and candidate 2. Now, I want to start by asking you all these questions. Let us assume that you were a recruiter, you were a funding agency, you were a scholarship provider, and you have 2 candidates. Candidate 1 gets to you and says, "Hello, sir. Here is my CV or cover letter. I have a master's or PhD degree. I have published several papers. Please, I need a job at your company. Here is a list of skills I have, as well as the companies I have worked for." So pay close attention to how candidate 1 presents himself. So candidate 2 on the other hand, says, hello, sir. What problems are you facing in your company? I want to use the results from my master's or PhD level research to help solve your challenges. Here is a list of companies I have helped increase profits. So you notice the difference? So if you were a recruiter, which of the candidates will you go for? Definitely you see that candidate 2 shows that is concerned about the problems, one solve problems. Candidate 1 is concerned about the degree certificates and the papers he has published. Candidate 2 is focused on the results he has obtained from his research work and how he can use that to drive value for the company. But don't worry if you don't know which candidates to choose by now. We will walk you through this at the end of this episode. We are going to know which of the candidates will be the best. So secret number 1, you remember we are on mind hacking secrets. The law of transformation. This is a secret inspired from Newton's laws of motion, the law that governs the process of attaining success. So what does the law of transformation say? Before I dive deep into the law of transformation, guys, I want to first of all share I know we are all scientists in one way or the other. If you're not doing science at the postgraduate level or engineering at the postgraduate level, at least at secondary school you did science. That is enough, so don't worry. Newton's third law of motion. What can we remember from Newton's third law of motion? To every action, there is an equal but opposite reaction. So we don't get a reaction. Any action that we take, there will be an equal but opposite reaction. Now, in our physics textbooks, when we're taught in class, they'll use an example like, for example, swimming or rowing a boat. What do you notice from this? You have to push the boat backward in order to move forward. So when you're swimming, remember, you push the water backward, and then you're being propelled forward. So you see there's an opposite reaction to the action that you take. So this is just what I want you to get from Newton's third law of motion. Now, so what do we extract from this? Remember, we are under the Lean Sciencepreneur, how science can inform career growth. The results you get in your life is the reaction to the actions you take. If you don't like the results, you need to change your actions. Okay, so the results you get in your life is a reaction to the actions you take. If you don't like the results, you need to change your actions. So if you're swimming, you don't want to propel forward, you need to change your actions. So now, remember candidate 1 and candidate 2, guys. So let's look at some of the things that candidate 1 does. Candidate 1, which is that student that talks about, I have a master's or PhD degree. Please, I'm begging you, give me a job. Please give me a scholarship. Please give me a research grant. Okay, now, remember the results you get is just as a result of the actions you take. Candidate 1, so when you finish school, you've spent years, you're doing a master's or PhD degree, conducted your research, and it's now in the lab. And what are you doing now? You're complaining of being underpaid or being unemployed. Let me just highlight here that in the US, for example, close to 85% of life science PhD and 65% of all masters and PhDs remain unemployed or underpaid at some point in their career. So low income. So why do you have low income? Low income because what is candidate 1 do? You're begging for a job. So when you beg for a job, what happens? You appear to be a poor and a needy graduate. Okay, you're looking for a means to survive. Now, the second thing, let's look at rejection from recruiters. You've sent out so many CVs, sent out CVs upon CVs, but sometimes you don't get a response. And when you want to get a response, sometimes it's a rejection. It's a rejection. Most of the times it's a rejection. You don't have the opportunity to get an interview. When they call you for an interview, they don't call you back. You feel that maybe it's the recruiter, the nature of the economy, the country. No, it's your actions. And I'm going to show you the actions you're taking. You understand? Because remember, we are still in candidate 1. You've sent a paper for a reviewer. You've sent an application for a scholarship program. You've sent an application for a research grant, and you get rejections. Remember, as you're getting that rejection, someone is being accepted. Candidate 1, you're begging. You put in front your master's or PhD degrees. You put in front your publications. You put in front your certificates, and you get rejection. This is just a reaction to the actions that you take. Now, this is candidate 1. Now, let's move forward. So before I conclude this lesson, guys, there's one thing that I want you to extract from here. So after understanding all these situations, after detailed understanding of Newton's third law of motion, I then drafted out the law of transformation. You can't get different results taking the same actions. If you don't like the results you get, change your actions. You can't get different results taking the same actions. If you don't like the results you get, then change your actions. To change your actions, what do? You must change your paradigm. So don't worry if you don't understand what is the meaning of paradigm at this point. But know that to change your paradigm is just the same as saying that update the parameters of your mental model. So this is a postulate by Fabrice Abunye. Okay, now let's ride on to lesson number 2, secret number 2. Now, we've seen that if we don't like the actions that we take, if we don't like the results that we get, we must change our actions from the law of transformation. So we don't want to hear people complaining that it is because of my supervisor that I'm graduating late. It is because of my uncle that has refused to help me. It is because of the nature of the economy that things are not moving well. No, guys, it is neither your supervisor or the economy, because remember, as you are failing, someone is succeeding. As your paper is being rejected from a journal, someone's being accepted. So see candidate 1. Okay, now how to take the right actions? How do we take the right actions so that we can change the results that we attract in our lives? This secret is inspired from the works of Nikola Tesla. If you don't know Nikola Tesla is one of the greatest physicists. I like him because he's not only a physicist, but he was an inventor. So he said, to understand the secrets of the universe, you must think in terms of frequency, energy, and vibrations. To understand the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibrations. Guys, so I'm going to train your mind how we are going to use the works of Nikola Tesla or the thinking of Nikola Tesla to interpret the situation that we face in our life. Now, let these lines represent layers of vibration, levels of thinking. Now, these levels of vibration or frequency levels are the levels in which we think and act. Now, wherever you are following this live workshop series, there is music going on in your room where you are. If you're in your office, wherever, there's music. Some of you will be betrayed because probably you can't hear the music I'm talking about. There is music going on. If you want to listen to the music, take a radio set, tune your radio set to the right frequency, and you hear the radio playing. Now, there are people in certain parts of the world that are not even aware that this workshop is going on. But if they just take their Google and then they join this meeting, then they have tuned their computer or their phone to the right frequency and they are joining this meeting. So what am I just trying to make you understand? In these different frequency levels that exist, there are results that already exist. So there's low salary, rejection, failure, better job, better salary, business, money, fame. These things already exist. You don't create them. Remember, guys, you just take your radio set and you tune it and then you receive the music. You don't create a better job. You don't create a salary raise. You don't create money. It is already existing. It's already there. So it's only to tune your mindset to the right frequency and these things will be attracted to you. And what I mean by tuning your mindset, it depends on how you think and act. Okay, now, this is where most of you, candidate 1, your mindset and actions are. So that's where you think and act. And what are you attracting? You're having a low salary. Why? Because what are your actions during your job search? You are sending out CVs, you're begging for jobs, please recruit me, you're begging for grants, you're begging for scholarships. So you have very little leverage. So you only get low salary because you are begging. You get a rejection because you send out CVs. He who sends no CV gets no rejection. Remember, that's as you're taking that approach and getting rejection, someone is rejecting jobs. As you're searching for jobs, someone is rejecting jobs. You get failure in the things you do in life. You can't get a lucrative job. You've spent a lot of time in the lab doing research, have a master's or PhD degree, and you finish, you say master. They count in a high. You see, in Ghana, for example, it thrills me a lot when I see a lot of masters and PhDs. What are they doing? They are actually working for money. That means they are actually working at an extremely low pay. And they'll complain about the government and Akufo-Addo is this. It is not your president. It is not that. In Cameroon, you see PhDs go on the streets to strike for joblessness. Some of them threaten to commit suicide. They want to drink poison and commit suicide because there are no jobs. That's what they think. Guys, remember, as you are threatening to commit suicide, people are rejecting jobs. People are earning millions in your same country with your same certificate. So it's not about the degrees you hold, but it's how you think and how you act. The frequency level in which you think and act is very important. If you want to change your result, change your frequency level, and change your actions. Now, candidate 2, what's the right job search mindset? The right actions. What candidate 2 doing? Candidate 2 conducted a research project that someone needed. Ask for problems. While other people are searching for jobs, candidate 2 is searching for problems. Remember, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So if you tell a recruiter, oh, I have a master's or PhD degree, I have published 100 papers, I know I have the following skills, people don't care about your skills. People care about the value that you're going to bring to them. If your actions in job search is sending out CVs, that's your action on candidate 1. This is my CV. While candidate 2 is building valuable networks, taking the right action, the right mindset, thinking. Some of you, when you meet somebody for the first time, please help me. Please, I need a job. Master, work not there for a company. I beg, help me. You beg for jobs. You beg for opportunities. When you beg, you appear as a poor and needy candidate 1. When candidate 2 is appearing as an expert, trying to add value, trying to know which problems you have, and then you show you how you can leverage the skills to solve that problem. Now, some of you, for example, say, I will start a business if I have the money. I will do this if you want to get fame, you want to skip to results. But I tell you that, guys, even if I give you the money, without the right mindset, without the right actions, you fail. According to Forbes, what happens? 9 out of 10 new startups fail. They fail. So the reason is simply because we take the wrong action. So if you want to succeed and attract the results at that frequency, you must take your mindset, think and act at that frequency. So if you're here, that means you want to do a research project that breaks scientific novelty and be of high market value. You want to learn how to innovate. You want to learn how to commercialize. You want to learn how to use your master's or PhD level knowledge to solve problems and make a significant amount of wealth. Okay, you want to use your master's PhD level knowledge to solve problems and make a significant amount of wealth. So now, if you want to achieve this, if it's the result you want to achieve, remember, you must take your mindset. You must think as a Lean Sciencepreneur, candidate 2, and take the right actions. Okay, so now let's look at, these are different levels of thinking for masters and PhD. So you have the employee mindset, the investigator, or the self-employed investigator. These are those researchers, masters and PhDs who write grants, who try to search for research projects and end projects. That's what they do. And then you have the sciencepreneur and the investor. So level 1 and level 2 is what I call candidate 1. So candidate 1 has an employee mindset, always searching for grants, always begging for funding, research funding. That's why you see even in Ghana, lecturers are always on strike. What for? No research funding. The question is, what have they been doing with the research funding that have already been given to them? So the problem is not lack of funds. The problem is not that we constantly go out of funds. The problem is even doing a research that has no need. Okay, so that's candidate 1. Now, candidate 2 links the sciencepreneur who solves problems and makes valuable investments. Now, let's just try to understand just a high-level overview. Don't worry yourself so much about this slide, but just a high-level overview of what candidate 1, which is the employee mindset and the investor, will have in terms of results in life, and then candidate 2, which is the sciencepreneur and investor, will have. So let's look at how we perform financially. So your assets is just the things that put money in your pocket, whether you work or you don't work. While your liabilities are the things that take money into your pocket if you don't want or not. That's your income statement. All the things that you earn, and then your expenditure, all the things that take money away from you. Now then you have your cash flow statement. Candidate 1, begging for jobs, begging for salaries, begging for grants. What can one only do? If you get a job, if you succeed to get a job, you can only do what I call active income, because you work for money. You work for money. You only have to work to earn a salary. So you search a job, you get a job. Salary raise, you always work to earn money. Candidate 2, sciencepreneur and investor. What are they doing? You notice that they are building what I call assets, because you turn your knowledge, your scientific research discoveries into what? Into science startups, into business innovations, into investments. These are passive incomes. Why I call them passive income? Because they put money into your pocket, whether you work or you don't work. Now, your cash flow now, all these things to play into your cash flow, which is your income minus your expenditure. So for you to gain escape velocity in life, that's financial freedom. That means your passive income must be greater than your expenditure. What do I mean by that? That means the money that you make, whether you work or you don't work, should be greater than your expenditure. If you must work to pay all your bills, then imagine that you fall sick and you're not able to work and you're not able to earn money. It means that all your bills, you cannot pay them. Maybe you will be kicked out of your apartment. If you're in the US or in the Western world, your mortgage will be taken away from you because you cannot continue to pay. If you be candidate 1, it will follow you negatively all throughout your life. And candidate 2 will actually help you attain escape velocity at some point in your life. And you already have these skills, guys. You already have them. You have the potential to achieve all these things, to achieve escape velocity in your life. So what are the benefits of being a lean sciencepreneur? There are 3 core benefits. If you are a master's and PhD and you want to obtain automatic employment after conducting a research project, either as an entrepreneur or a consultant, then the Lean Sciencepreneur series is for you. So it's a free series, as you all know. It's a free series. And then if you also want to go lean, that means you want to eliminate waste in scientific research because you only want to do the research project that somebody wants. It's still for you. How many of you here have been part of research groups that have won millions of dollars in funding, and 2-3 years after the research groups are out of funding? What happens? So you see, the research group wins funding, get students in on scholarship, they come to do their master's or PhD, and after that, what happens? The students go out on the job market, they're unemployed and they're underpaid, while the research group is still out of funding. That's why you see all groups in university, they're always, what are they doing? We are searching for funding. You want to apply, we are searching for funding. But the Lean Sciencepreneurship helps you go lean. That means you eliminate waste in your research process, in your thinking process, by only doing the things that somebody is willing to pay you for, and then go fast. Of course, it saves you time and it saves you cost because it includes a structured and well-defined process for identifying problems and building solutions that win in the market. Now, we've seen that we need to change our mindset. We saw a lot of transformation, that the results you get is just a reaction to the actions that you take. And if you want to change the results, you change your actions. We've also seen that if you want to take the right actions, you have to change your mindset. You have to think at the right frequency level, okay? So you don't have to ask that, okay, please, I need a research topic that will help me do, Fabrice, I need a research topic so that when I finish my research will be applied in the industry. No, it's not about the research topic. It's about having a mindset. I can give you a research topic, but do you have the right mindset? Fabrice, I need a business idea that I'll implement right away and start making money. No. You don't, it's not a business idea, because the business idea that I'm probably using and succeeding, if I give you, you fail because you have the wrong mindset and you take the wrong actions. So it should be Fabrice. What skills, what type of mindset do I need to have so that I will do a research project that will be applied in the industry? Fabrice, what mindset do I need to have so that when I do a business, I'm going to succeed? Okay. Fabrice, what kind of mindset do I need to have so that when I face recruiters in my job search, I'm going to succeed? That's candidate 2. You remember candidate 1 and candidate 2. Candidate 1 was begging and presenting certificates. Candidate 2 was presenting himself as an expert looking for problems to solve and coming to help the company. And you as a master's or PhD, guys, you're coming to help a company grow. You're not coming to beg for a job. So you should position yourself as such. But now, how do you change your mindset, guys? If this thing was easy, everybody would be doing it. Everybody would be doing it. It's not very trivial, but I got you covered. I have a secret here that will blow your mind. Now, pay very attention to this slide. This is one of the most important things you might ever come across. Now, the mindset model. So let's look at candidate. We'll analyze this slide based on candidate 1 and candidate 2. Throughout childhood, when you were born, guys, from childhood up to high school, you've been receiving information by what your parents told you, by what you learned from school. What did they tell you? Go to school, work hard for good grades. This is what we know. Do 3 masters, 4 masters, publish so many papers. So when you finish now, this is the information that when you have a first class honors, you will succeed. Guys, let me not lie to you. I had a first class honors. And I was a valedictorian. But I rubbish all those things. It has no use and no value. What value is the impact that you create to somebody? So this is what you've been told. So all these things have been buried into your subconscious mind. A lot of the decisions that you were doing up to high school, you were not in control of. These are based on the things that you heard in your environment, things your parents told you, go to school. Some of you, when you were growing up, you had personal talents, you wanted to try it up, but your parents didn't even allow you. They keep forcing you to go to school, work hard for good grades, and when you do well, and then everything will be possible. Now, you have a subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind is what has accumulated information, which we call habits, throughout up to this point in your life. And this has built what we call your paradigm or your mental model. So your paradigm has been built. So just like your X type of thinking, you think in an X way. The way you think is based on the information that you've received from your parents, your environment, right up to this point in time in your life. So you have X type thinking. And remember, the actions that you take, you remember I said the actions that we take are controlled by our minds. No, they are controlled by our minds, yes, but which part of the mind? The subconscious mind. So your actions that you take, that's your body down. The actions that you take, the vibrations that you make is your action that you take, and will contribute to your result that you get R. Okay, so all the information that you have up to this point in time have built what I call your paradigm, your mental model. And it is this paradigm that is controlling your actions. So you have gone through the growth stage up to this point. Now, you've gotten now up to the master's or PhD level. I am now candidate 1. You have a conscious mind now. You have your thinking faculties have developed, so you can think, you can analyze, and all those things. That means you can make thoughts, you can think. Now you are underpaid and you're unemployed. Now you are underpaid and you're unemployed. You want to think to see how you can go out of that trap. What do? You will only think in harmony with the things that are buried in your paradigm. You will only think in harmony. So what you think in your conscious mind will only be in harmony with the things that are buried in your subconscious mind. And this subconscious mind has been built all throughout the stage. For example, okay, you've been searching for jobs and you can't get. So what do you think? I should send out more CVs. I should meet people and beg for jobs. They tell you that go and do networking. You meet people and you're begging for jobs. Please, I need a recruitment. What do you think? In your mind, the government is not working. So you complain, you join groups in your neighborhood and you complain about the government. I don't blame you guys. It's not your fault. Please, it's not your fault. It's your paradigm. It's what you were taught right up to this point in your life. And it has built a paradigm, a very strong mental model, and kept you in bondage, what I call comfort zone. Okay, so you only send out more CVs, you get list of companies, you keep searching topics from the literature, you finish, that means you search topics from the literature, you do a research, you abandon it in the library and you're out there searching for jobs. If you search, it doesn't go, what do? You now want to go and get do another master's. Some will say, okay, I finished a master, okay, let me go and do another master's. Some will say, what am I doing? Let me go and do a PhD. Some people graduated from School of Engineering with masters in engineering, and they went, for example, in Cameroon, and they went to do what? They went to apply for ENS. That means you finished with a master's in engineering. You don't know the value. You went to apply for ENS. So the idea is that I don't blame you. You are only thinking in a way that is in harmony with your paradigm. Okay, so that's the issue. Now, you want to make a change. Okay, this is you want to try to go out of that trap. So you are hearing a wide type of idea, something that is not, you're not common to it. Somebody is telling you that, master, quit your job and start a side hustle. That's something that is very strange to you because you're not used to it. Someone is telling you that instead of asking for jobs, ask for problems. That's strange again. How can I be asking people for problems instead of asking for jobs? Someone is telling you that abandon your CV and now start using the results from your research project to search for your jobs. It's strange to you. It's very strange to you. But now you reason it out with your conscious mind. Okay, now maybe I have to make a change. You want to change. Motivational speakers I've talked to you, I want to make a change. What happens? You say, okay, let me accept this Y idea, which is change, abandon your job, start searching research topic by talking to real life person and not searching it from the literature and all that. Now, this Y type of idea, this new type of thinking that you're hearing, which is not usual to you, you want to try to force it on your subconscious mind. When you force it, what happens? You go into what I call XY vibration. XY vibration, that means you are in that position where you have doubts, fear, anxiety, and what does happen? It brings laziness, and the laziness translates back into discomfort, and everybody wants to come to their comfort zone. That is why most of you people, you make attempts at some point in your life to implement something, but fear and anxiety, laziness will not leave you. You have been trapped in that bondage. Your emotional mind, you've been trapped in that bondage, okay? And that's why your results cannot change, because your mind, which controls your actions, it's built with a paradigm that you acquire right from childhood. But don't worry, guys, this Lean Sciencepreneur series has modules that is going to help you translate from being in this candidate 1 to candidate 2, who is a full-time sciencepreneur, has the ability to take decisions and have the ability to do a research project that becomes a successful business or create significant jobs for himself. Okay, now the last thing that we're going to look at now is The 3 steps to changing your paradigm. So how do you change your emotional mind? Guys, this slide, most of us were in the state of unconsciously unskilled. That means we don't even know. That means that's why we've been brainwashed. We don't even know that we are not competent. You keep sending CVs, you send CVs, you apply for grants, and they keep getting rejections. And what do? You tell your mind that it is the government, it is the reviewer, the journal reviewer has rejected my paper. It is my supervisor that is keeping me down. It is connection. They call it in Cameroon réseau. You need to have réseau to get work. So you don't even think that the problem is coming from you. You don't know. You're not aware. You're unconsciously unskilled. Now, for you to move from this step 1 is you need to trigger awareness. And how do you trigger awareness? Some of you now, when you've sent out hundreds of CVs, no response. Some of you, when you've stayed unemployed, underpaid, and you've been feeling the pain. I mean, you can't take care of your family. You struggle to make a living. You begin to come to a realization that maybe the way I'm doing things is not really working. That's why you now learn from experience. Experience has tortured you, and you now say you learn from experience. So don't confuse experience from aging. It's not because you are old that feel like experience. It's if you're learning. Because if you don't learn from those experiences, then you are not experienced, even if you're 60 or 70 years old. Now, at this step, you become consciously unskilled. You know that you are not unskilled. The reason why you are attending this webinar series is because you know that there's something that is not working in your life. You come to that awareness. You are consciously unskilled. You know that there's something that you need to learn to change your story. There's something that you need to learn to take your career to the next level, to take your research to the next level. That's why you're here. So now that you're consciously unskilled, what do you do to become skilled? You need to acquire knowledge. You need to acquire knowledge. And it's not any kind of knowledge, guys. It's the right knowledge. So it's really difficult to even get the right person that is going to give you the knowledge that you want. That's why when you want to acquire knowledge, you must get the knowledge from the person that has achieved what you want to achieve, from the person that is at the frequency level that you want to be. And it's only by example, guys. It's only by example. A university professor who has never worked in the industry, who has never started a company, will not train you to start a company because he has not done it. A professor in agricultural engineering that has no farm can never train you to start a farm, can only train you to become a professor. That's why some of you, when you finish your master's degree, what can they do? They'll convince you to come and do a master, come and do a PhD. You only follow the professorship track. But again, professorship positions are at an all-time low. The number of masters and PhDs that are coming out, can the university accumulate everybody? And professors, again, they are not the wealthiest. They're not the wealthiest. So we need to look for other ways of leveraging the potentials that we have. So you must acquire this knowledge. So I will not tell you another thing. I'm only training you on Lean Sciencepreneurship because that is what I know. I will not tell you something else out of my education. When you acquire the knowledge that you have throughout this series, you become consciously skilled. Consciously skilled means that for you to do the things, you need to think with your conscious mind. You need to analyze before you arrive at results. Okay. But now, so sometimes let me explain to you this consciously skilled. You see, candidate one, I have a master's or PhD degree. I've published these papers. If you ask candidate one a question, or candidate one will need to go and verify. You need to go and read, check his notes, check, because you are consciously skilled. You need to analyze, do research before you arrive at the result. But now, for you to move from consciously skilled to unconsciously skilled, that means you do the thing. Sometimes I just know if I see a research topic, I know if it will work or it will not work. I can just put your objectives in no time. I don't think about it again because I've been doing these things for years, over years, and I'm unconsciously skilled. I can just sleep and then I just do it. Just think of it as when you started driving, when you were learning driving, what happens? You used to calculate all your movements before you change the gear. You focus on the driving, and at one point now, after years of practice, you become now consciously skilled. You can drive and take decisions and even answer a phone call without even noticing that you're driving. And it is at this point where you have a new paradigm and then you become candidate 2. But don't worry, all this process, these are the things that you learn throughout the workshops. The special episodes will help you navigate the process. Okay, so now, I just want to give you now some structure to the Lean Sciencepreneur series, how it will be like, so that we know what we are expecting, so that you throughout the entire series. So the series has 5 seasons, and every season has a couple of episodes. So season 1 is called Lean R&D. Season 1 is what's Lean R&D is research and development methodology. So it will provide you everything that you need to know about research and development. So it's our in-house methodology for research, and it's a combination of the Lean startup method, which is used in Silicon Valley to start invincible companies, that's big companies, as well as a combination of the academic research process. So I've merged business startup process and academic research process, and I put it into Lean R&D. Most of you masters and PhDs, you have a lot of research experience, but little or no development experience, and that's why you face challenges to thrive. So the Lean R&D will complement what you don't have and give you a step-by-step introduction to the Lean R&D methodology, which will help you start changing your research, start choosing research topics in a way that will lead to a successful business. Not also forgetting the fact that you must meet your academic requirements. You need to publish. So Lean R&D is not only to do a research project that ends up in a successful science startup or a marketable industry innovation, but you will also publish significantly in industry relevant journals. You can check me on Google Scholar. You notice that some of the journals are published in high impact factors and all those things. And so it's just a combination of the skills that work for me and what has worked in what I've been applying in business and combining them together into Lean R&D. Season 2 will have a couple of episodes that will train you on what I call value hacking. It's called value hacking. Value hacking is a scanner that helps you to scan for industries, businesses, to identify practical problems and design novelty from these problems. You know, sometimes if you want to do a research, your topic must be novel. And not only it being novel, it has to also solve a practical problem. So episodes there will give a lot of examples on value hacking, where we talk about how to identify practical topics, how to scan and identify it. Some of you, when you were doing your master's program, you were sent to go and do an internship in a company where you identify problems. You went to the company, you didn't know how to identify a problem. Your supervisor that was given to you as an industry supervisor did not also know how to identify problems. People were looking at each other. After 3 months, 4 months of internship, you came back to your university and just tried to put up something just for graduation. The value hacking now is going to fit in that gap. Process intelligence. When you've identified the problem, it's not only identifying the problem, even though it's important, but we need to design a solution. So process intelligence helps you to hack into people's current way of doing things and then extracting solutions that will wow them, that they will use, because you must build a solution. Not only a solution that solves the problem, but a solution that people are willing to use. Sometimes you have a good solution, you have a valid problem, but there's no product market fit, there's no science solution fit. So you must ensure that your science fits a solution, fits the problem that you've actually identified. Deploy it. Deploying it means you can deploy a solution as a scientific paper. You can deploy a solution as a business solution. You can deploy it as a product, an engineering product, a technology, an app, or whatsoever. You can deploy it into a website where you make. So there are various ways of deploying solutions. So Epiphany Bridge is to make people feel the same way that you felt when you came across your idea. Some of you submit papers for journals for reviewers. They reject it. You have a good idea. It's not because your paper is bad, but it's because you don't know how to transmit the knowledge from your research into your research paper. Some of you apply for scholarship, you put up a statement of purpose. You fail, not because you are not a good student. You have a good result, you have a good GPA, but you fail to communicate your skills very well. So Epiphany Bridge, which is that something of realization. You want to make people come to that point where they feel that what you're writing makes significant amount of sense. So that's Epiphany Bridge. So build that bridge to deploy your solution, and as well as the world, the business world. And then an Innovate framework is what is going to build. It's going to train you how to position yourself so that you will not be looking for recruiters. You will not beg for recruiters. You will not beg for grants. You will not beg for jobs, but jobs will come to you, attract this thing to you. People, right? If some of you that follow my status, you see how I always post recruiters contacting me for jobs that I'm not interested because I run my own company. But I used to apply for jobs and I could not get them. But now things have really changed. Now, we need to take action. So the last slide is just going to, we'll have some few questions after this presentation, but after the questions, we need to continue interactions. The recordings will be, we have close to 400 people that registered, but we could not find a comfortable time to please everybody. So that's why we are recording it. And then we'll have further discussions in InoGrade. InoGrade is a platform, it's a cloud academy exclusively for masters and PhDs. That means if you are a university graduate aspiring to do a master's someday, you're a current master's student, a graduate aspiring to do PhD, you're a lecturer, researcher, it's that community where we are going to have this discussion. So it has different classes. So if you go to InoGrade, you can download the app on App Store. I'm sure the technical director has given directives to it. So you can now search for Lean Sciencepreneur group and you join. So that's where we'll have interactive discussions, further questions and answers. You can contact me privately on InoGrade in our chat. You can chat privately, and but you can also share. It's also important that you share because there are also other experts that will be found in the group who also help you if you share your research challenges, if you share your career challenges, they will help you in Lean Sciencepreneur. Everything going from choosing your topic to realizing a business from your research project when you graduate will be discussed in season 1. So the group of season 1 is actually present there. Now there are other seasons, other seasons that will exist there for now, like which I already mentioned, the value hacking class, cost intelligence class, which there are certain criteria that you have to meet to be able to take part in all those seasons. So you have to attain an escape velocity. So escape velocity, you need to write a SMART examination that be prepared, which if you follow up what goes on in season 1 very well in the private group then you should be able to navigate through these things. And the whole thing is that when you navigate all these things, we already have a lot of projects for people that are willing to also join the team and all that. So this is the InoGrade Lean education model. All the series that are hosted on InoGrade are structured as follows. So you can now join, and then after the question and answer, we can meet there. I'll share the recording will also be of this series. If you want to watch it over and over, it will also be available on the InoGrade platform. So with this, I say thank you for your attention.